All right, thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us today. I'm going to talk a little bit about our spring and a little upcoming parts to what's to come, I guess, with BW hockey and Wildcats. We have we'll have three guest speakers. There'll be Connor Jones and Ella Matteucci speaking.
Matteucci.
Matteucci, sorry, thank you.
Matteucci.
And then Cody Carlson will also, and after that, we'll have the raffles. So quickly, basically with the spring wrap up, it's been a great spring so far. We have 17 total teams, as some of you may have heard that as well, ranging obviously Greater Victoria, two female teams and two Cowichan teams. We'll see what happens coming into this next spring season. We are already just started on planning for next year and seeing how we can do and offer for the kids and training in the off season. We will be trying to get together some player feedback from the coaches and myself to get out a very basic, as we mentioned, that's what we were going to add to this year's program. Where's BW going now that we have had skill sessions all year round? We have two camps coming up, August 4th to 8th. We'll be in Victoria West Hills, and August 18th to 22nd in Lake Cowichan. At the Victoria one, we will be having Kyle Bocek, Utah Mammoth skills coach and assistant coach. He'll be running that for the on ice part of it. August 18th to 22nd in Lake Cowichan, we have planned for, and it seems like they have verbally committed that the Canucks alumni and them will be coming on one of the days for that. So lots of let's say partnerships going on with our different programs. Also, we do continue to plan. We do continue to try to add on the Mid-Island and we'll say some North Island skills as well for those families up that way. Reason for this expansion is we continue to provide opportunity, obviously, for Greater Victoria hockey players and athletes, but also the island. We want to continue to allow for obviously equal opportunity for all, but what we believe we provide so far is this new skill development ever since we started 8 years ago. And what we've been adding to our programs with guest coaches with camps. We've been doing some 3-on-3 stuff, and eventually, as some of you will be seeing, as the NCAA camps in the future. These are just summer camps that we're working with them. So a little quick thing about that is what we have so far is we're aligning with coaches, and we'll say the programs on they have their own camps that we'll be running. It's a lot about the development for our kids, opportunity to we'll say get outside of Vancouver Island and Victoria to train, and just to be able to meet coaches, be trained and coached by different coaches, professional coaches, and meet other players out there. So exposure to other players, as well as these NCAA facilities and what they have to offer, the opportunities. So that's what we're psyched about, to be able to add to that. Again, global trips as well. We're working on other opportunities that way. We've sent the Victoria Admirals for 2 years in a row that way, and hopefully we continue to collaborate or partner with different associations, as well as potentially bringing our own BW Wildcats. So wherever we go. We will also, as some of you, we will be also adding a BW online aspect to it. I know, talking with a lot of families, with myself and coaching, obviously starting out by myself on the ice and now having a lot of these guest coaches, not able to be out there all the time anymore. Just how things have grown, and what that will be like is potential group Zoom meetings with myself, with some other coaches, guest speakers, get some game analysis on there as well. And that will also allow me to interact with the players and athletes that way a little bit more as a group, rather than if they don't get to see me at the ice rinks. We plan to have some 3-on-3 coming up into potentially the summer and fall winter. And another thing to look up for is the summer camps, as mentioned. So I'll just mention at the very end of our speakers before Connor Manella come on. I have some raffle prizes. Every player from our Wildcats names are in a hat here. We have 3 senior Bauer sticks, 3 junior Bauer sticks. We'll give out 2 gift cards. One is a 50% off summer camp, either one, the Victoria Lake Couch, and 5 free summer skill sessions, as well as 2 BW hats, camo hats. So I will turn it over to Connor and Ella. Thank you very much for joining us. You guys can introduce yourself as well to the community, and just can talk a little bit about who you are, skill development, your previous hockey experiences, and just inspiring these young athletes.
You want to go ahead, Ella? You want me to
Sure,
go?
yeah, sweet. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate the invite on coming on. So yeah, my name is Ella Matteucci. I played at Carlson University, which is in upstate New York, for 4 years. I was lucky enough in my 3rd year or my junior year to win a national title with Clarkson. We were the first ECAC team to be able to do it out of the, usually it was our Western teams kind of taking the crown, but that's where the big part of my hockey career got kicked off. And then following that, I played in the Canadian Women's Hockey League, which at the time was pro, which then changed into the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association. It's a mouthful, which is now what they have today on your TV screens with the PWHL. So I was lucky to have opportunities playing in all of those leagues, and I've also coached a number of years, some of that being in Ontario, some of that being here in BC. Most recently, I did a season with the North Shore Warriors last year. However, now I've transitioned to another sport and coaching baseball. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Now, hey, Ella, you played for the Canadians national women's team for baseball, right?
For baseball, yeah, not for hockey. I wasn't lucky enough to play for hockey.
I mean, still.
Yeah.
Pretty legit.
Very lucky.
Am I good to go here, Wonger?
You're good to go.
All right, I'm Connor Jones, assistant coach at Princeton University for the men's ice hockey team. I just finished my 1st year coaching there. Previously, 2 years at Vegas as a scout. Lucky enough to win the Stanley Cup, which was crazy. Did literally nothing to bring anything to it, just a positive attitude, but I was there. Before that, 8-year pro career, 4 years at Quinnipiac. Grew up in Trail or Fruitvale actually with Ella. Played junior B, minor hockey out there, single A, and pretty much my whole career. And then before that, junior B, and then junior A and the BCHL before Quinnipiac. So, pretty modest path to what I'm doing now. Is just talking with Ella about, pretty wild to be, from Montrose, British Columbia, to all of a sudden I'm an assistant coach at, an Ivy League school like Princeton. So, geez, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's terrific. And Connor, you didn't mention, obviously, you played a game in the NHL as well.
Yeah, lucky to play 4 games for the Islanders. Throughout the pro career, it's something, no one will ever take from me. What an 8 days it was. Yeah, earn that one. Longer earn that one. So yeah, lucky, fortunate.
I'll take the assist on there. I have mentioned a few of these families or parents that I chat with that I was part of the recruiting process for you to Quinnipiac at least, so get the assist.
A big time, big time. I know what growing up watching Wonger come playing for Merritt and his career ultimately him going to Quinnipiac, I was like, wow, this guy was an incredible player. Like I should go there too, and that's kind of, the way things I to this day, I still think there's like two or three players that like started off what Quinnipiac is today. And it's Reed Cashman, Wonger, and myself and my brother that really kind of made it like didn't make it what it is, but made it like, wow, like the good players can go here and stuff like that. So I give a ton of credit to Wonger and Reed in that sense.
Yeah, thanks. And before I go to Ella, your dad, I just learned this, is your dad not the winningest coach in
Yeah,
or
you know
something?
what,
I just heard.
Wonger, I could talk about my dad for forever. Actually, Ella's dad coached with my dad for got
Yeah.
Okay,
10,
cool.
15 years. So I know my dad is like always like, Paul, when are you gonna come back? But my favorite part of what my dad has done is um got his career path. Like he's been a full-time teacher and principal and coaching junior B while being the winningest coach. And he's the only coach who does like isn't a full-time head coach in that league. So like for him to do that and the respect he has throughout the hockey world is, you know, so this year Wonger is his first year going to be retiring and like a full-time hockey coach. So he's pretty jacked up about that. And to this day, him and honestly, his dad are two of the best coaches I've ever had. No matter what level. So um, yeah, pretty special guy. I'm not biased at all, though. Not biased.
I was gonna say.
What's Connor, what you want to explain what team he's coaching and then like kind of that part of where he's
Yeah, so interior BC, coaches in the KIJHL, has since '96. And basically the junior B has been a feeder league to junior A for forever since kind of ever and that since definitely his time there. Um, so he's coached anyone from Barrett Jackman, NHL player, to, you know, great like Cody Franson, like all these guys have come from different areas and different paths, but he's seen a lot of great players that usually come there when they're 15 or 16. At least back when he played, there was a lot of 15-year-olds. So he's coached a lot of cool guys and great players in a league that's been, heavily in development for a long time. It's changed a little bit with some of the rules, but um, he's still getting great players and still developing guys and great people. So, definitely a league where you're 16, 17, 18. It's a start for your junior career to play against, bigger, stronger men. I know being 16 playing in that league, it was tough. You matured in a different way than playing midget or whatever. But like literally single A, minor hockey to junior B to junior A, like it was kind of, a crazy path. And I mean, yeah, like it's just I'm kind of astounded by it these days.
yeah, and so I think you're not only you're still you're what you and your brother are so good at and what you brought to say your Quinnipiac, but your hockey careers is just your work ethic and compete level. I think all the guys, but we'll say Coach Rand Pecknold from Quinnipiac has always talked about that. And to this day, when I try to chat with these kids, I try to explain to them, and I think of you guys because of obviously what you've done with Quinnipiac and taken it to the next level. But how can you share with these kids of how, because as you know, when you grow up you don't know what those limits, what it's not even limits, there is no limits, but those ceilings of potential that you can get to of how you shoot, how you skate, how you compete, but competing and attitude is probably the top two on the list. So are there little things that you can share with them of how they can learn this and how they can eventually one
Yeah,
steps?
it's I don't know if there's a step or guideline or anything, but I never wanted to lose anything. And part of that was having an identical twin brother, and that was just I never wanted him to beat me in anything. you know, and we just happen to be on the same team, and that competitiveness, you know, I f- I feel like now knowing what I do, it kind of just it spread out through our whole teams in anything we did. It spread out when we played, you know, ball hockey. It spread out in anything, and um also comes from my parents. Like they're super competitive, same as, you know, like when I watch like I went to watch Ella win the national championship in Clarkson, and she must have blocked 25 shots. And I remember her dad going no gear in a skate we had once, and he laid out to block a shot. I was like, that is just like what Paul would do. Like, you know,
Yeah.
so it's your like-minded people around you, but it's also just who you are to a core where you're gonna do whatever it takes to win. And that goes into like your skill development. It's like, well, I'm just never gonna quit at my bench press. I'm never gonna quit at running. I'm gonna just do extra. You know, if I can do one more, I'm gonna do one more. And those are just things that I was so fortunate to grow up in, you know, a community and have people around me that pushed me. And then ultimately Callan was the driving force that I never wanted to lose to him. I also never wanted to let him down, you know, so it was that drove us in a sense of like it's a little bit psycho, you know, but in a good way. It's just we never wanted to, you know, back down or lose. So, I mean, Ella, you can speak to that too of seeing, you know, the Nighthawks and, you know, everything that you went through growing up as well.
Oh yeah, totally. And something that kind of came to mind when you were saying all that is like throughout my 4 years with Clarkson, my first 2 years I didn't really play. Like I dressed. I mean, I dressed and I was on the bench, but I was more of like a grocery stick. They couldn't decide really what to do with me. And it kind of pushed me to have to kind of step it up in areas where I didn't even think I needed to kind of improve my game. And like one of those things was I know like as coaches we kind of harp on how important like systems are and stuff like that. I didn't understand a system. I didn't know. I just was out there and was able to do these things when I was in high school and playing like boys' house because that's what I was playing. Um, but my coaches just really were like, well, we can't put you out there if you don't understand our system. And it's crazy how important those things are and how sometimes they get neglected. So because I had to kind of learn to be a different player than I kind of originally came in as like into university as it pushed me out of my comfort zone. But then, like I said, like in my third year, I was playing every second shift, right? Like I'd play 20 plus minutes a game because I figured out how to kind of hone in what they were telling me finally. And it obviously paid off. But yeah, first 2 years were a struggle. And like, I think there's going to be a time in everyone's career where they have like those couple games where you're like, why am I not getting out there? Like, I'm used to getting out there. But it's like actually listening to what your coaches are saying and like the tools that they're giving you to get better. Like, it's so important.
Yeah, and Ella, I'd like to point out to all these families and our players is you're a multi-sport athlete. I'm sure you played more than softball and hockey, but that's pretty incredible to play on team. Was it Team Canada? Was that what?
Yeah, for baseball.
For baseball, yeah, that's awesome. It just shows how athletic and competitive we'll say these hockey players and athletes are at these, you know, even whatever junior college and even pro levels. So that's pretty cool. And again, pointing out from a coaching perspective to these kids is as they listen in of sometimes our coaches in certain situations in games, whether it be kind of those round robin clinching games or the semifinal finals of the tournaments. Sometimes there's players that are getting a couple more shifts on them in the sense of selecting players to go. So we try to explain to them a little bit. It's just kind of the real world, but we're developing these players and try to be as fair as we can, obviously, to get more opportunity in different situations. So, you know, they question sometimes, and obviously they just have a hard time understanding it. But can you explain or chat about how you weren't playing much, maybe what you're feeling, and kind of what was going through your mind of, or maybe it could have been a little bit negative, but also what choices you had to eventually one day as you did play. I think
Yeah.
good for them to hear that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I think it's hard not to be negative when you aren't kind of getting the shifts or the things that you maybe think you deserve. You think you're kind of putting in the work and the effort, but like it's so big about actually like listening to what the heck your coaches want you to improve on. Like, you might think, oh, I need to score more goals, blah blah, but like that wasn't the case for me. I was a defenseman. I was like very medium size, but I realized that my role was like I was gonna block you a shot or I was gonna knock someone over. A little bit different in girls hockey, obviously, but I was never gonna really score you a goal. So I just made it like my ultimate goal to never get scored on. Like you weren't gonna see like a dash on the score sheet at the end of the game. You know what I mean? Because I knew that when I went out there with my 20 to 40-second shift, no one was getting past me. No one was getting around me. I was picking up sticks. I was doing all those little things defensively that I needed to do to buy myself time on the ice. And like that ended up paying off later on in my career. Like when I played in the CW and when I played in the PW, I'm playing pro against all these Hockey Canada athletes, all these Hockey USA athletes. I'm playing against Marie Poulin, and I was literally line matched with her. Did I have any business maybe getting line matched with her? No, but I knew how to push her over. You know what I mean? Both me and my partner, that's exactly how we played, and we were just our two most defensive defensemen, and that's where we got our role. But the power play, yeah, you ain't seeing me out there. You know what I mean? So
I think the trust, like to add to that, Ella, like the trust you have for like realizing it as a player, like, hey, I trust you to go out there to win a faceoff on the penalty kill, or I trust you to go out there. You're never gonna let a shot get by you. It's such an important part of playing and coaching and players understanding that, like, hey, not everybody can be the best player. Not everyone can score the goal. It's like you have to find ways to earn your coach's trust and confidence that like there's no other choice. It's like Ella's gone. I don't care if she's dead tired or you know what I mean? So I think that stuff's so important when like kids and players are like, if your coach can't trust you, no matter how old you are, like it's just gonna be really hard to keep playing and earn more ice time.
mm-hmm.
And Connor, you went to 2 Frozen Fours, no?
Just one.
Just one. And
Just one.
we're the 2013 year versus Yale?
2013, yeah.
Okay, well, Ella, and you're a champion, which is amazing to have not only talk about ice time, but also your role. And these young kids should understand that it's not just the goal scorers that make it to those next levels. There's a role for everyone, and they, as they continue to develop into their hockey player identity, they'll find different roles, and hopefully they can understand that a lot of trust and a lot of coaches, really essentially it's kind of a coach's pick. The coach has players on the team that they want out there for certain situations: power play, 5-on-5, penalty kill, and maybe at the end of the game wherever it's 6-on-5 or 5-on-6. So
True.
maybe you can both chat about successful teams. I guess, Connor, in this case, you lost in the finals of the Nationals, but Ella, you had won, and just learning moments that way and passing along to these kids that hopefully one day they can have a shot at any sort of championship, like at that stage.
Let's let the winner. Let's let the national champ go first.
Oh gosh. I'm trying to think of like.
Oh, no, that's okay. No, it's being recorded, so I've already 30 minutes left.
With like our championship winning team. I think it was the only team that I played on those 4 years that was like as cohesive as we really were. And like we knew everyone had each other's back. There was no drama. There was kind of nothing else. It was just we knew that we were going to get through these last couple of games of the season. We knew we were going to win. Like it was just like a weird confidence that we had, and we had 100% buy-in kind of from everyone. And I think with the team thing, kind of, I wanted to touch on the one thing is like how good hockey is for like one, building relationships like outside of hockey and like later on with like your career and stuff like that. But also
Hey, just a sec. Who's ever talking? Can you mute yourself, please? There you go.
There we go.
Good
Got it.
stuff.
But like I don't play hockey full time anymore. I'm just coaching. But like in my career, I'm now like a career firefighter in Vancouver. And I don't think if I had any of those hadn't pulled any of those experiences from like my interview or like how I act like around the fire station and stuff like that, I wouldn't have been as successful like in this career as if I would had those experiences in hockey.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with Ella. Like that buy-in and that buy-in to a team atmosphere helps you in everything that you do. Like Ella talks about her firefighter team. Like it's the same thing. And if you don't care more about your teammate than yourself, like that's your team's not gonna win. And if you even look at like my teams or my team that lost to Yale, like we should have won. Like you play them one more time, we beat them 10-0 probably. But like that just shows how hard hockey is winning and stuff like that. But the buy-in to a culture and to a care for each other, and it's ultimately a love for each other. Honestly, as a team, the teams that win, like there's a bond you never break. Like the teams I won in Vernon with in national championships, like I love those guys because I knew that they would legitimately die to win. Like they would do anything for me to get to the puck, and I would do anything for them, to win. And that's what teams are made of. That's what coaches, ultimately looking for as a group. And so if you're 10, if you're 12, if you're 13, 14, like I can't stress enough of being a great teammate, being a great kid. I know my dad, like, that's one thing. He's like, you know what? You might not get the best players, but if you get the best kids and the hardest working kid, because the best kids are going to be, they're going to listen to you, they're going to buy in, they're going to work their tails off to become better for you and for the team. And you're going to get so much more out of them. And I think that's as kids. Like I was watching some 15-year-olds today. I'm like, oh my God, body language. Let's grow up here and stuff. So you just try and, you take whatever you can out of this Zoom, but like, if there's little things, if it's if it's positive energy, if it's, great body language, like those are all things that winning teams have from every guy and girl and girl.
Yep. Yeah, I think appreciate you both coming on today. I think that's all that I have that from them. But if you guys want to add anything else, your time is appreciated, and we can move to Cody. Ella?
Oh, that's great. Thank
Connor?
you for having us. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thanks, Wanger.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay. See you, buddy.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, up next we'll have Cody Carlson. Cody's a local boy from Victoria, current VIJHL head coach of the Sandwich Predators. Cody, I'll let you introduce yourself. You probably know some of our community, and you've probably coached some of these players as well already.
Yeah, my name's Cody Carlson, local Victoria boy. Obviously grew up with Wonger, did some pro skates in the summers together, kind of reconnected after our pro careers and, following Wonger's dynasty here in Victoria. We work very closely. We became very good friends, and I think he's doing an amazing job in the city and developing local talent. And yeah, I'm just happy to be a coach and give back to the hockey community.
Cody, do you want to explain a little bit about your, I think we have 2018 players, 2017 to 2018 players on this call. So they're, our old novice Adam ages all the way up to 2009 players. Do you want to share a little bit about how you started hockey in the sense of what it was to you? What was hockey to you? Was it only fun? Was it very serious? What was it like? And then how did you get yourself into a position as some of these players? We've asked them on the ice or in the dressing room where they want to go to, whether it be junior college hockey or pro hockey, or maybe they dream of the NHL. But you were a first round WHL draft pick, and how did you get to that point of putting yourself up a chance to be noticed like that and work your way up?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Wonger. For me, when I was young, 4 or 5, it was about hanging out with the buddies. I honestly, it didn't matter if it was on the ice or in the backyard or shooting pucks in the garage or wherever it was. It was just about, being with my friends and just having fun, having some smiles, but also the competitive edge you could get, whether you're playing shot against the post or, you're playing road hockey in the backyard, you're playing game 7 overtime. Everybody picks their NHL all-star, like I think that's what made me love the game so much. It wasn't even, the 5 a.m. like everybody hates the 5 a.m. practices, but you know what? You just learn to love them. You learn to want to go to the rink, want to be with the guys. You don't want to miss out on the stories. You don't want to miss out on a power play meeting. You want to show up every single day, and it just becomes a lifestyle. And I think that's what it was for me. It was, you know what? I wasn't even very good. I wasn't a great player. I was a bad skater. But I just, you know what? I loved it so much. That's how I got better. I just wanted to do it every single day, and I wanted to do it the best I possibly could. And I think that's what the great players do. Not saying I'm a great player by any means, but it's just falling in love with the game and just not comparing yourself to everybody else. I think just working on your game and trying to be the best you can be every single day.
Yeah, and it sounds like from there what you're saying is a student of the game, but very passionate. You're just wanting to do it every day over and over. I can relate that way myself. Do you want to chat? I was with Vic and Jet Gervais all day today in a volunteering thing with disability hockey, floor hockey players, and we had a tournament. But Vic was probably part of your journey at some point back then. Do you want to talk a little about your group from Victoria, I guess, and a little bit of you guys practiced a lot, and you went to these tournaments and
I think Vic was one of the ones that, made us love the game the most, because I think when Vic retired, he was 36. I'm not sure how old he was, but you know what? He was a goalie for us in the backyard for road hockey. He was our coach. Some days he just didn't want to go home. He was having so much fun just playing hockey with, 10, 11-year-old kids. I think myself and Tyson and Bryce and Sean and James Kellington, we just, we just every single day after school we were together. Vic was there. He was making us work out, and we weren't working out. We were just having fun, telling stories. And I think it was just learning how to get into the gym, learning how to just show up on time and, try to do things the right way in the gym. It wasn't necessarily building the muscle at that age. It's just learning those steps of what it takes and what, Jerv's handing down his experience to us, that, you have to get in the gym at a certain age, and you guys got to want to be in the gym. It's, if you don't like it and you hate it, you're just never going to go, and you're never going to want to do the things it takes to be successful. But I think he instilled that just show up, get it done, make sure you do it every single day, and have fun while you're doing it.
can you give a one of your strengths as a young kid that was different than everyone else? That's what separated you. What was different about you? Why a lot of these players, they're working on their skating, they work on their shot at home, they're working on their stick handling and dangles. Some put more time into it than others, and what kind of
I think for me it was just my will to win, my competitive edge. I think everybody can teach skill, everybody can teach skating, but it's you gotta want to have that drive to do it. Because I definitely wasn't the best skater, I wasn't the best stick handler, but just having the drive to show up every single day and want to be better than the guy next to you, I think that was one of my, things that stood out for me as a kid, that I always just wanted to be better than everybody. Um, I didn't compare myself to everybody. I think I just worked on my own game at my own speed, and, took criticism everywhere I possibly could and embraced it. I think that's the big thing is, there's going to be people that tell you you're never going to make it. There's going to be people telling you suck at this, and this, but take that as knowledge, take it as a chance to learn, and take it as a chance to get better.
yeah, and as you are a coach now with obviously developing junior player age players, but you see a lot of U18, U15 players. And obviously, if you coach any skill session that you work with all different ages, but can you share with them a little bit of the transition from kind of that U13 to U15, U18, what you see and how they can maybe start earlier on some things of being noticeable in those aspects for junior coaches.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, you have to be a good person, and you have to be able to take criticism. You have to be able to want to learn. I think, there's a lot of kids, everybody's doing the skills, everybody's doing the skating coaches, everybody's in the gym these days, but not everybody has that drive. Like I said, I think those little details stand out to coaches. How you present yourself, how you communicate. Do you look a guy in the eyes? Do you give a handshake? Are you a good leader in the room? Do you keep to yourself? Do you show up on time? Do you take advantage of coaches when they're not looking? Are you doing the things you need to do when the coaches aren't looking or other players? Are you eating right? Are you getting your rest? Are you on the video games? I mean, every single player on my team, I could tell you if they're up till 2 a.m. on Call of Duty or Fortnite. And you know what? Those are the guys that are probably not successful. They're there for the ride, and you know what? That's okay too. But the guys that want to take that leap, want to get to that next level, they're doing the right things when nobody's looking.
Yep. And I believe pretty well all those things or that is just can be answered by you. You're the only one that can answer all
Yeah.
those things, really. It's not whether it be the coach, whether it be your friend, whether it be your teammates or whatever. It's just you answering those things, being honest with yourself as a player. Do you deserve this? Did you work hard for this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is there any other moments in your hockey career that you'd like to share with them? They're all, so very gung ho about getting to those next levels, and they love hockey and love being around the rink and their friends. So,
I think, I mean, for me, it's important to step away from the game as well. Take your time with your friends and your family, go on those camping trips, go and enjoy your friends and family, because that's the most important thing. The game's always there, but work hard when you need to be there. But you know what? Take your time away from the game. It's always nice to take 2 weeks off or a month off, and then feel fresh going back to training and skating and enjoying the game. And you got to want to miss the game as well. That's when you're in love with it, and you can't be without it. That's how I was anyway. But I think always just work as hard as you can, whether it's skating lessons, stick handling, whether you're doing video coaching. Ask the right questions. Ask your people that you're, how do I word this? The people in positions you want to be in, ask them questions. Take their knowledge. People love sharing knowledge. People love giving back. I know it's not the easiest to answer or ask questions, but ask the hard questions, and you're going to learn a lot, especially from the people above you. And ask your coaches questions. They're in the business to give back, and they want to give you the knowledge to be successful. So I think just do the things that are uncomfortable as well. It's only going to make you better. The game's not easy. It's it's a long road, and you got to enjoy every up and down. I mean, there's a lot of downs in the game. There's a lot of ups, but you know what? It's just a game, and have fun with it. And yeah.
yeah. I think that's all we have. Cody, if you want to share anything else about what you're doing with potential skill stuff or Predators season coming up, that type stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone listening, we'd love to have you out at our games, and if you see me around, come up to me, introduce yourself, and shake my hand, and I'd love to meet any of you guys. So, especially if you see me around the city. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Beauty. No, I appreciate your time coming on, and obviously you've been doing our BW sessions as well. So,
yeah,
it's awesome to meet all these kids growing up, as once you and I both did that.
Absolutely. I wish we had this when we were around.
Yeah, it wasn't as simple to have access to former players and
No.
we'll say junior college pro or NHL players. But thank you very much for coming on. I'm sure the community will see you back on the ice with us soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Warren.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. So this is a nice 45-minute call so far. That's great. I'm going to do the raffles very quickly here. I have a lot of the sticks. I don't know if you can all see them, but I guess I can say in order which ones are going to go, and I'll write down the names of the winners. I have all names printed out in the hats right here, cut up. Okay, so for the junior Bauer agent, it is for now, we're gonna do our best to just stick to what you win, and if we can swap, we'll try our best to, but if not, we'll be out of luck that way. But the left-handed P2840 flex will go to Matteucci. Okay, the next one is the righty P9240 flex. That will go to Riley Mann. The P9250 flex lefty will go to Noah Reynolds. Okay, now the adult sticks here. We got the 75 flex grip P29. It's a jet speed. And that is going to Logan McCullough. Oops. So small. Okay, and then the Bauer Twitch P9255 flex will go to Cone Halati. And the one more stick P9277 flex will go to Kais Razul Jankovic. Okay, now we will do the 2 gift cards. So the 50% off summer camp one will go to Akam Atwal. The 5 free summer sessions will go to Garrett Gilmore. And then we got the last 2 hats, the camel hats. Let's show you the 2. It's one's just like that. And they will go to Weston Helm. And the last winner of this one here is Desmond Hay. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us on this call with the 3 guest speakers. It's been an awesome spring. We still have 3-4 weeks left. A reminder is to get those skill sessions in before June 30th. Our summer sessions will start up here July and August. And we do have 3-on-3 potentially coming up in the summer months, and also the August 4th to 8th Victoria West Coast camp, along with the August 18th to 22nd Lake Cowichan camp. So hope you had a great spring. Again, got still 3-4 weeks left for some of those that have skill sessions and a few different tournaments, but it's been an amazing spring. Lots of lots of new experiences, the highs and the lows. A lot of you have learned those, and we continue to keep growing and polishing our spring off season program, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. We do plan to probably start our ID package is into August. And then again, the hockey season begins. They're already talking about this in September. So thank you very much. Have a great night, and thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Brandon. Thank you.
You betcha.
We